Welcome back to Foster and Grow, everyone. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, we're glad to be back with you all, and we've got another beautiful plant to show you today, don't we, Jared?
Yeah, so today we'll be talking about the Sansevieria trifasciata Lorente.
Glad I didn't have to say that mouthful. So the common name is actually a mother-in-law's tongue, or a striped mother-in-law's tongue. Also a golden-edged snake plant, and you can see why on this bigger version we've got here. And also a devil's tongue as well. So lots of common names for this plant.
And whereabouts would you see these guys originating from, Gary?
So these are actually from tropical Western Africa. So in regions from Nigeria all the way through to the Eastern Congo. So very exotic plants that you'll see in lots of nurseries.
Yeah, so as you can see with the Sansevierias on our left and right, they do have a very pronounced vertical presence. Further to this, you will find that they're quite a handsome evergreen perennial. In terms of the leaves, what you will find is that they have a really nice dark green undertone, but further to that you get this yellow kind of tinging to the sides of the leaf, as well as a little bit of a horizontal striping effect as you move up the leaf, which is kind of more of a greyish to green kind of colour. But further to that, you will expect that in terms of height, they can get to about 120 centimetres tall if they've got optimal conditions.
Yes, that's about 48 inches.
And up to about 60 centimetres wide.
So that's about 24 inches. And a really good example of that is our mum's plant. So shout out to mum. This one is actually 120 centimetres tall, but only about 20 centimetres wide. So that's a little bit less wide than you can get them at fully grown, but very, very big plant. Generally though, if you're growing them inside, they'll get to about the size of the plant on Jared's right. So that's about sort of 60 to 75 centimetres in height.
Yeah, so that would be about 24 to 30 inches.
Yeah, and about 20 centimetres wide again. So that's why we've got ours. Mum's plant is actually an indoor plant, and when she got it, it was much, much smaller. So this is what you can get after sort of 3 or 4 years of growth indoors in an optimal location, isn't it, Jared?
Yeah, perfect example of when you've got more optimal conditions and how well they can do. But further to that, they are just a very versatile and very flexible plant when you do have them inside, and just a very beautiful indoor plant to have.
So when it comes to the location for your snake plant, these guys love moderate temperatures. So they're coming from a tropical background. During the daytimes, they love temperatures between about 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, so that'll be about 70 degrees Fahrenheit to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
And then night temperatures, they love it really, really warm. So we're talking about 15 degrees Celsius to about 21 degrees Celsius.
So that would be about 60 degrees Fahrenheit to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and this is why we can't grow them where we are in our location outside. So we're too cold or too warm, and that's why we grow them where, Jared?
Yeah, so we tend to do quite well with ours in indoor positions. They're quite a flexible plant because compared to some other indoor plants, they can thrive under a bit more neglect.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about low light conditions and possibly even low water. So you can sort of set them and almost forget about them. I mean, why would you when they look like that? But yeah, I mean, absolutely beautiful plants to have inside. And a lot of the hybrids too tolerate those sorts of conditions. So this is a golden harney, otherwise known as a golden bird's nest.
Yeah.
And yeah, where have we got him again?
Yeah, so this guy has been sitting within our lounge room, which at times of the year we have the curtains all closed and only minimal amounts of light coming in, and it still thrives.
Yeah, so really, really beautiful plants to have in an indoor setting. So if you were looking to grow the snake plants outside, if you've got those sort of tropical conditions, there's only 2 things that you'll really need for these plants to make them thrive. And that's a sort of partial to full shade position within your garden, and also a well-draining soil mix.
Yeah, so in terms of general plant care for the Sansevierias, there is a few things to keep in mind. Now, firstly, for flowering with these plants, one thing you will find is if you do keep them indoors, they're very, very unlikely to flower.
Yeah.
But if you do have a larger, more mature plant outside, and you're lucky enough to be able to grow them in those conditions,
Yeah.
you can get small flowers, followed by some berries as well afterwards.
Exactly.
But further to that, they are a very easy to grow and low maintenance plant. They can tolerate a whole bunch of different amounts of light within your home, as well as water and temperature. That they're very good at adapting.
Yeah, exactly. So the only thing you will really need to grow them in is a very well draining potting mix. We recommend actually going with a pot inside a pot, just so we don't overwater them, because they are susceptible to root rot. And yeah, we've been through it, haven't we?
So particularly when you do overwater these kind of plants, the root rot's going to be much more of a problem.
Yeah, because our indoor pots obviously don't have holes in the bottom, the water can't drain itself away. So what we will generally do is place that in a sink or the laundry tub, or even pop it outside in a bucket outside. Let it soak up that water that it needs. Once we think it's happy, the leaves are standing upright, take it out, pop it back in the indoor pot, and then we can also, if you see some water in the bottom, just empty that out, and that'll save you from getting a rotten plant. So that's a very good tip that we found. But yeah, anything else with the snake plant, Jared?
Yeah, so one other thing to bear in mind is basically that there is some toxicity to these plants. So if you do have some little ones, or if you've got a pet,
dog, a pet.
Yeah, which does like to chew on these kind of things, it is a good idea to keep them in an area where they can't do that, just because it can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea if it is ingested.
But other than that, very, very good general care plants, very easy to take care of. So when it comes to propagating your beautiful snake plants, there's probably two different ways that we would recommend. So the first way is via an actual leaf cutting. So if you took a really sharp pair of shears or scissors, make sure you get a clean cut across a healthy long leaf. Essentially what you will do then is you'll get a vessel that can support that leaf, and also have about a quarter of the tissue of the bottom part of that leaf in water.
So when you say vessel there, Gareth, what do you mean by that?
Oh, it could be a glass, could be any sort of tub. Even, you can prop it up however you want, but try to keep that leaf upright, just because it'll help it. The other crucial things though with that is that you'll need to actually replenish that water every couple of days. So you want to tip out the manky water after 2 days, fill it up a quarter of the tissue again so it's up to that level with brand new water, and also keep it in an indirect light location. So you don't want to have any direct light on that leaf whilst it's going through that stressful process. The beautiful thing though after a couple of weeks though is you should get roots appearing off the bottom of your leaf cutting. And then say, wait maybe another week, and basically you can put it into a mix of, we'd say peat moss and sand would be the best way to do it. Again, try to keep it supported until the roots take hold, and then you'll have a baby snake plant. The second way that you can do it though, which will give you a much bigger plant, is via division, isn't it, Jared?
Yeah, so you can see two examples of this here. So this one here is one of the examples of some of our larger Sansevierias, whereas the one Gareth's holding at the moment is an example of the golden hardy, which has been divided off as well. And both of those have taken very well now. They've been in there for a few months and growing bigger and getting to stronger plants.
Yeah, more plants for the household. It's absolutely incredible. So these plants are relatively easy to propagate, so enjoy your propagation.
Alrighty, so that almost wraps it up for today. But what do you like most about this plant, Gareth?
So I absolutely love the amount of locations and sort of like the versatility for the snake plant. You can grow it like bathroom, bedroom, the lounge room, even in the garage. No, that's a joke. But almost anywhere in your house, you can grow this beautiful plant, and you know, amazing. What do you love about it, Jared?
Yeah, so anyone which watches a fair few of our videos might know I absolutely love variegation, and with the size of these plants as well as the foliage which it has, it's just a very beautiful and nice plant to have just sitting around your house. But yeah, apart from that, we both would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, which has just been, and
yeah, if you do love the content, please make sure you subscribe and you like the video. It does help us a lot. And also we want to, wish you a very happy new year as well. It's been one hell of a crazy year for everybody. Make sure you stay safe, and we'll bring you another beautiful plant very, very soon.
bring on 2021.
Bye.